Okay, so just further going through Voyager Season 1 just to get to Jitrell, which will be the next episode, which will finally be an interesting episode to talk about. We now arrived at Faces, which, first of all was notable for having a character named Durst who had his face ripped off by the Vidians at a time when everybody hated the band Limp Bizkit, and rightfully so, and wanted to rip Fred Durst's face off. And Voyager actually did that. They provided the service to the global audience of ripping Durst's face off, which was much appreciated in the audience. Durst rip his face off. So he no longer goes like doo 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 in concert music. Fuck off, Limp Bizkit. Other than that, it's a Vidian story, and of course the main plot point is, B'Elanna Torres is captured by the Vidians and split into two different people, Klingon B'Elanna Torres and human B'Elanna Torres, which could have been interesting if it wasn't in season 1, but in a later episode when the if they did this in season 3 when the character was well established with the viewers, and then split her into Klingon B'Elanna Torres and human B'Elanna Torres, that could have been really cool. But they did this early on, which was marginally cool. Like, I didn't dislike or hate this episode or the idea behind it. Just came a little early. Like, they didn't do it like in episode 3. This is almost at the end of season 1, so the character was established at least a little bit, so it works a bit. It kind of works. Like, that's the judgment I can make. It kind of works. And they have Klingon B'Elanna Torres and human B'Elanna Torres interacting, and, both of them interacting with Tom Paris, which is a bit of, foreshadowing of what their relationship is going to be in the future, which, the writers and directors and actors didn't know at the time, but it was, if you look at it in hindsight, that was some pretty neat bit of foreshadowing. Actually, I think the actors, Robert Duncan McNeil and Roxanne Dawson already knew what was coming, because they just, from the get-go, had really great chemistry on screen, and probably had great chemistry off screen. Like, not implying anything, beyond chemistry. They just got along really well. They just interacted really well. And so that was a cool bit of foreshadowing and, showing the contrast between the Klingon side and the human side. We've seen hybrids before, Alexander's mom, Kayla. On a side note, it would have been really cool if, like, Kayla was the emperor of the Klingon Empire in the Mirror Universe in Deep Space Nine, but that's just completely off track. Just a random thought I always have, like, to bring Susie Plaxton, I forgot the name for a second, back as Kayla. That would have been cool on Deep Space Nine. I don't know why I randomly got that thought, but she was like the archetype of the Klingon-human hybrid. And to show that internal conflict, that you have a parent who is human, and Everybody who lives on this planet knows that humans are pretty pathetic. And everybody who watches Star Trek knows that Klingons are pretty awesome. So you have like the conflict between a pretty pathetic side and a pretty awesome side. And it's fun, I guess. And still, like I said before, it would have been cooler, like, you know, in season 3, when the character of B'Elanna Torres was more well established. But it still worked pretty nicely in this episode. And you know, the human B'Elanna and the Klingon B'Elanna have to work together to escape the Vidians. And, you know, I mentioned before in the first appearance of the Vidians, which was called Phage, I think it was episode 5, they could have made really cool villains if it wasn't for the, you know, plot device of Voyager that they move from one part of the galaxy to another, and we all knew the Vidians would be left behind eventually anyway, so which made them pretty pointless. But the general idea of them, it could have been a pretty cool villain, because it's actually a really nice idea. Species. I already said this before in the Phage review. A species that was highly civilized and highly intellectual and great artists and great engineers, who suddenly got that incurable disease that made them basically eat each other and everybody else. It's a really cool sci-fi idea, but you know, it suffered from the Voyager premise of moving from one place to the galaxy of another, so they would be gone after 2 seasons anyway, so what's the fucking point? But, you know, it's not a concern immediately in this episode, because we're still well into season 1, and the Vidians are still there. We didn't leave them behind yet, so they're still menacing villains who have pretty nasty technology and pretty nasty ways of going about with their enemies. So it works pretty well. So yeah, the villains work pretty well. The interaction between B'Elanna and B'Elanna, you know, human B'Elanna and Klingon B'Elanna work pretty well. The relationship with Tom Paris works pretty well, as we know that would turn into a real relationship later on. And other than that, yeah, it has a short moment of the continuous B-plot of Neelix trying to be friends with Tuvok, which was most of the time annoying, except sometimes it really shone through, like in that later episode Riddles, where Tuvok loses his memory and Neelix really becomes his mentor to be a person again. Like, it had some cool moments later on, but overall it was pretty annoying. And yeah, it's been a while since I watched this one. I actually just read the memory alpha summary. I don't actually remember what Captain Janeway does in this one. I guess it's not that important, because the focus is, you know, human B'Elanna and Klingon B'Elanna escaping the Vidian prison together with Tom Paris. I think it has Chakotay in a Vidian mask later on. I'm just going to look that up. I think I forgot the ending, but I think it was like either Harry Kimpman or Chakotay showing up later on. Yeah, Chakotay shows up as a Vidian, and then and then the Doctor. How are they reintegrated again? I need to actually read that. I just remember the interactions between human Belana and Klingon Belana and Ferris. No, Klingon Belana is killed, but then the Doctor restores her Klingon powers. Okay, yeah. Somehow I completely forgot the ending. And I don't think that was the interesting part of this episode. That's why I forgot it. The interesting part was, you know, the Roxanne Dawson got to act with herself and with Robert Duncan McNeil and escape the Vidians, and that was kind of the point. And I think that's probably one of the at least the top 5, probably the top 3 of season 1. Next episode, Jitrell, is probably embarrassingly the best. Even though in the grand scheme of Star Trek it's not a great episode, but in Voyager season 1 it's definitely the best, and I'll do that next. And I'm glad I moved through most of the crap of season 1 and will soon be done with the crap of season 1.